Congratulations, you have cleared NET JARF. And I really mean it because I know what it takes, the kind of hard work that it takes to clear NET JARF. Okay, it doesn't matter whether it is UGC or CSIR. Now, for your information, I have done a detailed video on NET JARF as well as CSIR fellowship. What are the differences? Also, if you are UGC fellow like me, then I have done a detailed video on that as well. So check both these out if you are interested in this. Hi, hello, my name is Aatiya. Welcome to PhDpreneur, where we discuss about PhD mindset, well-being, research fellowships, whatever are the current happenings which are related to research. So today's video would be 5 things that you should be knowing absolutely if you have cleared NET JARF or CSIR JARF. It doesn't matter which one, but if you have a fellowship, then you need to look at this video and watch this till the end, because I'm going to discuss pointers which even I didn't know when I started my PhD. When I refer to something as CSIR or UGC, what I'm referring to is the fellowship, okay, and not the exam. For example, I cleared CSIR NET, but my fellowship is UGC. Okay, so depending on the roll numbers, some roll numbers are allotted UGC fellowship, some are allotted CSIR. So when I say about UGC and CSIR in this video, I would be speaking at fellowship level and not at exam level. Okay. The first and foremost thing that you need to remember, whichever fellowship you have, is that it doesn't come on time. Now, this is as of I'm filming this, that is 14th of August 2023. I hope the situation changes in future. And at present, it is relatively much regular than what it used to happen earlier. Like earlier, for 5-6 months, the fellowships used to be not there. But now it comes every month, sometimes 1 or 2 months. There is a gap, but then it will come later. But even now, it will not come on first. So this is something that I want everyone to note, that if you are planning for admission to PhD, then one thing you can do is inquire whether there is a facility of taking advance. Okay, if you are in bits, there is facility for taking advance, and then you reimburse it when you actually receive your fellowship. So this is critical if you are totally dependent on your stipend for your daily expenses. For some, this may not be that important, but I know many students who are completely dependent on stipend, and they actually have to send a portion of their stipend to their families at home, okay, if they are doing PhD somewhere else. So this is something that you might want to keep in mind if you have any kind of fellowship like this. Now, the next point is, for both these fellowship, first 2 years would be JRF and next 3 years would be SRF. So what I mean by that is, by the time you finish your JRF, first 2 years, you need to start your upgradation process. If not, if it's too much delayed, if it happens by 3rd year, your fellowship gets stopped. So my suggestion would be to stay on top of your paperwork. If you watch the 2 videos that I mentioned in the intro, then you will be on top of the documentation and everything. And I also have done a detailed video on NET activation. Like when you take admission to PhD, what all formalities are required if you are a UGC fellow. So that also you might want to check. But for now, I just want you to remember that stay on top of the document procedures, whatever it is. You can refer to the official website, and I also will be doing a detailed video on all the documentation from start to finish for CSIR as well as UGC. Like secondly, earlier for SRF upgradation, it used to happen automatic. Okay, so like JRF salary you get, and then automatically once the tenure is done, automatically your salary would be shifted to SRF. But now it is not like that. Now the SRF procedure involves 3-member committee, including your supervisor, head of the department, and an external. So these formalities are required, and by the time you finish your 2nd year, you need to be doing this. The third thing to note is that UGC or CSIR upgradation does not require to have a publication. By the time you finish, you need to have certain amount of papers. Like for bits, it requires 2 papers which should have a Scopus index. As far as upgradation is concerned, from JRF to SRF, with respect to UGC and CSIR, it does not require a publication. I'm repeating this because many of the supervisors also sometimes give telling the students that if you don't have publication, upgradation will not happen. Do not fall for such traps, because if the upgradation does not happen on time, your fellowship will get stopped. Okay, and once you start with the procedure also, it takes some time before your salary gets normal. Okay, meaning before your salary gets to the revised amount. So this also I want to let you know in advance. The next thing that you are going to remember is that both these fellowships are for 5 years and there is no extension. Okay, many of the times we are told that you can apply for extension and all. You can use some other funding agency maybe. As far as these particular fellowships are concerned, where you have got admission through these fellowships, you are not eligible for any extension. So I would suggest to plan your work accordingly so you can finish everything in time and you do not have to go to somebody else or to some other funding agency for any help. The last and the most important point, say suppose you have qualified for JRF now, then within 2 years you need to be activating your fellowship. I have done a detailed video on that, as I've said earlier. As far as this point is concerned, if you don't claim your fellowship within 2 years of this whole process, then it becomes invalid. Okay, and if it becomes invalid, then you will have to answer NET exam again to qualify it. So what I had done was, for 1 year I took work experience as assistant professor. I applied to a local college and I taught there. And after that, I did take admission for PhD. So work experience is not mandatory for PhD, but I just wanted it to be added to my CV. So I did that. But if I had to delay more, then my fellowship would have become inactive. Even if you clear it, the process of searching for colleges, searching for supervisor and all that, it takes some time. So my suggestion is, if you have cleared JRF and if you are interested in research, start with PhD admission process immediately. So these are some of the things that you need to know as a CSIR or UGC fellow. I'm not sure if most of these are being covered on the internet, and on this channel I always make sure that you are updated and you get to know exactly what is happening. Okay, fellowships are increased, fellowships are hiked, all these things are there, but at implementation level, how things are happening. So it is always my endeavor to inform about what happens at the ground level rather than just inform about policies and schemes. So if you want such updates and valuable information related to what actually happens, then I would suggest you to stay tuned for updates and be a part of the community. So it's a wrap for today. Till the next time, bye.